Today we're looking at how to use Heavy, setting up Heavy for the first time on your phone and on your computer. So the mobile app is great because you're going to be working out using your phone in the gym. That's where you're going to be logging your workouts. But when you're actually designing and creating your workouts, it's better to use your computer because on your computer, you're able to actually move around the workouts and actually visualize everything because you've got a bigger screen, and on your phone the screen is a bit small. So I would recommend, if you're building your workouts and setting up the different routines, just to use your desktop because you're going to have more room to like move around your workouts. And if you're taking workouts from somewhere, it's easy to like copy and paste, and you don't have to try and type or swipe through different screens or different apps if you're trying to get the information. So doing it on desktop, it's much, much easier. And so I'm going to show you right now how to set up your Heavy app. And well, first of all, you have to download it and then set it up, and then we'll log your first workout together. And after that, then if you have any questions, then we can look at it. But let me know where you're tuning in from. I'll be curious who's all joining us. Who's all joining us today? Let's see. Okay, boom. So, how to use Heavy. This is Heavy app. This is the app. So, with the Heavy, we are setting up. First of all, we have to download the app, right? So you have to download the app, and you can also download ChatGPT. If you already have ChatGPT, that's great because you can also sync the two apps. And once you sync them, you can actually have ChatGPT help you build workouts inside inside Heavy. But ChatGPT lies a lot. That's a problem. So ChatGPT is not always accurate. But you can see if it works for you. If you know how to use ChatGPT and Heavy, it's fine. But I still recommend looking through your workouts once you build them up to see if they make sense. And your workouts have to follow proper programming as well. And the good thing is that Heavy on its own, it's designed for workouts. So I imagine it should be able to catch ChatGPT if it's lying to you, if it's like throwing you off. And yeah, so that's something that we can all look at. So we're gonna look at downloading and setting up Heavy. And the first thing that we want to do is download. Wait, give me a second. Let's see. Let me make sure that. Okay, boom, perfect. Okay, so we got that. Okay, so that is working. Okay, so now we're going to look at Heavy. Let's see what is going on here. Okay, we're going to see what is going on here. Okay, so now we're moving on to downloading Heavy onto a phone. So downloading Heavy, you want to go into your app store, whether you're using Apple, you're using Android, doesn't matter. Just go into your app store and look for Heavy. When you look for Heavy, you're going to find it's going to be black and white, and you can download Heavy onto your phone. Once you download it, it's going to load, and then it'll take time to load, and then you're going to find, hmm, let's go. Yeah, so this is what you're going to do. So you're going to find Heavy on your phone. Okay, so you open it, it's a black app. Yeah. So this is what it looks like. Let's see. Okay, let's come back. Yeah. Yeah, so that's Heavy with that black icon. So you can just take that. app, drag it. If you use folders, organize it on your home screen. Once you open it up, you'll have Heavy. You can create your account using your email, or you can log in using your Gmail, your Apple, or your phone. So you're going to enter the email that you use. So I'm just entering a random email that I have. And then from there, you can set your password, whatever password that you want to set up. And once you have that logged in, let's increase the speed here. Once you have that logged in, you're going to be set. You continue. And then while you're here, you're going to be able to set the units that you want to use. If you want to use kgs or pounds, kilos or miles, centimeters or inches. So whatever measurements you use, that's what you can select. So this is good for like workouts, like if you track things in kgs or pounds in your gym, like how your weights are marked in your gym, you can use that. And then distance, if you run in Ks or in miles, you can track that. Excuse me. And then you can connect your Apple Health to this so that it tracks, it syncs, and you know the calories that you're burning, your heart rate whilst you're working out. So you can link everything to the app. And then once you're done, you can select the things that you want to share with the app. So you can turn everything on. I would also be cautious about the data that you share, because at times you'll find that the data, like some of these apps, right? Because there's always going to be people that are trying to breach databases. And these apps, workout apps, and they're collecting our data all the time. So they're databases as well. And hackers are always trying to get into databases to get information on people. And you don't want your information out there. So I'll be always careful with which apps I share my information with, if any, and I wouldn't let them all sync together, because if one gets stolen, the other one can steal the data. If there's a backdoor, someone can just go through and take the information. So I'll be very careful about sharing my data and allowing these apps to sync. And you don't want your data in the hands of even like an insurance company or anyone that's going to be looking at your health or anything like that. And so that data should stay private between you and your doctor. So don't always just give these apps or these tech companies your data. Don't give these tech companies your data. Don't do that. So anyway, so you can put in whatever you want, and put the minimal information for it to customize your workouts, right? And that's why it's always good to work with like a human being that you can trust that can help you with that. So like your doctor, your personal trainer, your coach, let them help you with that, and they can do things for you. And so yeah, so once you've set everything up, they'll ask you a couple of questions, right? And this is the other part, like Heavy has different plans that you can sign up for. And for the features that you get with Heavy and the cost that they charge you, like $4 a month or $32 a year and $105 a lifetime, I think for the features that you get, it's quite reasonable. Because when you compare it to an app like Strava, for example, it's like $7, $8 per month. And so that's like half the price for an app like Strava. Strava obviously has like a bigger community as well if you're into like running, biking, and hiking as well. So it's a bit different. But for someone who's just trying to work out, they're just focused on themselves, they're not too concerned about, actually, you know what, with Heavy they also have a community, but it's mainly for like workouts, and you connect with people all over the world. And Strava, I think you can sort of like link with people locally. So I think that would be a cool feature if Heavy was able to do that, if they were able to grow the amount of people that they have in different places, and maybe they could have like gym clubs or something like that, I don't know. But that would be a cool feature if you could link with people locally. And yeah, so yeah, so they're going to send you some emails, promotions if you opt in or if you opt out. And then this is pretty much what the interface looks like for Heavy. So you're going to have your exercise, you're going to have a section where you can add your notes, and then you can add a rest timer. And then you can pick different sets when you create your program to like have like a warm up, or and then it'll start counting your working sets. So if you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can customize it, add as many as you want, and it'll show you over time like the stats, like how you're progressing, and you'll be able to see how your strength is going up. And you can also compare with your friends to see how you're progressing compared to your friends on very specific lifts and stuff like that. So it's actually pretty cool with that. And then you also have the heavy community. That's the other one that I saw. And then they'll ask you like, how did you find out about heavy? So you can put something, doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect anything. It's just for them, for their marketing. And yeah, and then once you get here, all right, so you're going to create your profile. Once you start, you want to create your profile, add some details like, okay, your age, just the bare minimum that you need for a workout, your age, and then, you can put your picture. And then, so this is going to be your profile, right? Once you've added all the other information, and then you've got your dashboard, you've got your lifts. So this will track how how you've been lifting. Essentially, your progress will show you like each week how you lifted each week, and you'll have like your dashboard over here with your stats and exercises that you're doing and your measurements, your calendar. So everything will be tracked over here. And then your workouts will be right here. This is where you'll create your workouts. So right there, I clicked on workouts. So you've got empty workouts. So right now, there's nothing. There's no routine right here. So we've done the tracking. So you've created your account, you've set up your profile, right? So we're going to look at this with the heavy guide. So you've downloaded the app, right? You've created an account by now, and you've set up your profile. And now we're going to be using the app for tracking workouts. And the first thing is that if you're creating this on your own, you just put in the workouts, you have them there. And then if you're working with a coach, your coach can assign workouts. They'll have like workouts created for you, and they'll show up on this page right here. So that's something that you can do to find your workouts that are created and done for you, and you can track everything. And then if you once you start performing your workouts, I'll show you in a bit how to track everything once you start tracking your workouts as well. But right now we're looking at creating the workouts, right? So we've come here, we've got a workout, so we're going to add a routine title. And essentially, a routine is like the day, what you're working on. So if you're doing like pull day, a routine exercise is actually what you perform, what you do. But the routine is a combination of the different exercises that you're doing in a day. That's the routine that you're doing. And the exercises will be the individual exercises that you're doing, the movements that you're doing. So if you're doing like a bench press, that's the exercise. But let's say push day would be the routine. And so now we've got our first routine that we're doing. So we did, what did we put? What did we select? Did we say push? Okay, so we've got push day. Yeah. So push day, so we've got our bench press. We're selecting our bench press. Next thing, what did we select? Let's go incline. So we'll talk about this in another stream on how to design your workouts, right? So this is just for us to kind of see exactly how to build just the first workout. And now, yeah, because the order of your exercises sort of matter depending on your goals. For someone who's just like, okay, I just want to get active and just move, it's fine. Like you can do your workouts, but for specific goals, you have to organize and do your workouts in this particular fashion and particular manner for you to maximize and reach your goals. So, so now we've created our first routine right here. And Heavy will also offer you help if you need help with creating a routine. So as you can see here right at the top, they offering to give help, but I kind of know what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna use that for now. And yeah, so now you've got your first routine created. So this is like your day one, and right there, because I selected all the exercises, so now I'm adding the sets. And when you're adding your sets, you just tap add, and all the sets will be added to your routine right away, to your exercise right away. So that's the set. So the set, again, so just to come back for someone who's starting to work out for the first time. So a set is the the grouping of the reps that you're doing in one go, right? So you might pick up a dumbbell. You're like, okay, I want to do bench press. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're doing repetitions. Those are repetitions when you're counting up to five, right? Let's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So whatever number that you get up to, that's the number of reps that you're doing. And then you're going to take a little bit of break. You're going to take a little bit of a break. Maybe it's going to be like 1 minute, 2 minutes, 30 seconds, depending on what style of training you're following or what program you're following. And then once you've rested, you're going to do another set. So the set is going to be the next grouping of those reps that you're doing. Those reps that you're doing. So if you're doing 15, the next set of 15 would be your set. So that's what you're adding here. And once you've done that, you're also tracking your weight, and you add those. Okay, so we're going to go with 4. Depending on your program, some people do 5, some people do 3. Depends on your program and your goals. Like, what are you trying to achieve? That is what will determine how many sets, how many exercises you have in your routine. It all depends on your goals. So now we've got our official day one, a push day routine completed. We've created it. Now we've got our sets. We're not recreating this every single time that we're coming to the gym. Next time we come, we're like, okay, now let's log our first workout. We're going to do a push day. So this is going to be push day. So we're logging our first workout. So as we log our first workout, we want to see like, okay, the workout that we're doing. So we're following every workout in order as we have created it. And we're paying attention to the number of sets, like we've talked about, paying attention to the number of reps and the rest periods. So that's the rest timer. We didn't set the rest timer in this particular one, but you would set the rest time according to your your goal. Like, what are you trying to achieve? How much time do you have in a day? So your rest time and the types of exercises that you'll do is going to be different for someone who has 30 minutes to work out and someone who has like an hour to work out and someone who has 2 hours to work out. Everything is going to be different depending on how much time you have to actually do the workout and go to the gym. So that's where the customization comes in. So you want to be able to understand, okay, so today, and you might have like different routines for like push day. Okay, 1 hour, push day, 30 minutes. So you can customize and create so many different things, right? But don't get yourself confused. But just make sure that whatever you're following is allowing you to hit your goals. And it doesn't mean if one routine or one exercise doesn't work, it means that that's where you stop. No, you adjust, you tailor it to whatever the circumstances. The main thing is for you to maintain your momentum and just keep going. So, so now we've got our push day. And once we click that, you can sync with your watch, right? And once you sync it with your watch, it'll also give you like a timer, like on your, it'll beep once your rest period is over. And then it tells you when to go next for your next rep. And so like right here, the first rep, for the first set, I've just put in 135 pounds. So 135. Oh, now we're coming back. Okay, so we kind of skipped here. So anyways, this is what we're talking about. So now we're doing our first workout. We're performing the first workout. We're paying attention to to the weights. And it's kind of hard not to pay attention because that's the whole purpose of the app, because you're supposed to log everything. And so now, as I was saying, like you're going to have your rest period, whatever rest period that you have, you're going to put in the timer, and then your watch will tell you when your rest period is over. And as I'm just showing you here, once you finish your workout, you put in the reps, just check mark here, done, 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 and then 185 done. And then on the next, yeah, on the next stream, I'll show you my actual account and my workouts. Because with the paid plan, you can have like RPE, and this is essentially just looking at like how many reps in reserve did you have as you completed the the set. For example, if you did 185, you did 10 reps, okay, you're doing consistently 10 reps. And maybe you felt like you were able to still do maybe 3, 4 reps, right? So like if I come back, yeah, I'm imagining 135, potentially maybe I could have done 15 reps. So my RPE could be like a 6, for example. So that's the amount of effort that I'm putting in into that set. And then 155, maybe I could have done maybe 4 reps extra, but I just still did 10. And then I'll put like, say, 6.5. And then I go 165, maybe I could have done like 3 reps extra. And then maybe I put like a 7 or 7.5, right? And then same thing with 185. Maybe by doing 185 at 10 reps, maybe I could have done 2 reps or 1 extra rep. So then I'll put like an 8 or like 8.5 or a 9. And that would be like me saying, okay, this is how much effort I put in. And next time I come to the gym, it's going to track that. It's going to log that as a memory. So that next time I come into the gym, right there where it says previous, right? Yeah, it'll have that tracked, right? Where it says previous, it'll have that tracked so that you know how much effort you put in the last time. And where it says add notes, right here, you can put in your notes. And next time, it'll also show you the notes that you had the previous workout. And I usually like to write things like, okay, I had a meal before this workout. This is why I was able to push harder, or I was able to do like a PR on this. And you're tracking, and then even you can reflect back to say, okay, how did I sleep the night before? And if you sleep well, you can say, okay, like, yeah, I feel sharp. I feel like I'm focused. I had a good meal. My workout was good. And then the days where you have like a bad workout, you can also write, okay, I found that I had a tough time with like just pushing mentally past, like you had energy, but you just mentally couldn't push past. And maybe this was because you didn't sleep well. And maybe you had something that was on your mind. So that way you're tracking the things that help you progress faster and the things that are motivating you, and also like you're tracking the things that are holding you back. So that's what you're doing when you're doing this, and you're tracking everything. Because before, this was probably like sort of what, working out 2009, and I used to just track everything in my head, and I would know everything in my head. And the time that we had like the pandemic, I stopped working out as much. So the longer that I went without working out, I sort of like started forgetting like where my strength was and how much I was progressing. And at a certain point when I came back, like I just lost track to the point where I I just got like an Excel tracker, and then I just started tracking everything on Excel, but it was too clunky as well. And when I was actually tracking, still with Excel, which was still fine, because I was still tracking everything. But one of the things that happened was I I got injured because I was training. I felt good. My strength was going up. It was going up. But and I was feeling like I was going back to what I used to be, what I used to train like, and the strength that I had before. But I think just with the time that I was in training, I think even things like my ligaments and tendons were not as strong as they used to be, because your muscles can be strong, but if your tendons and your ligaments are not as strong, they can give out on you because your muscle just have so much force, but your tendons and ligaments don't have as much force. So it's important to make sure that your tendons and ligaments also being worked out. And that's where you have like your stretching, your flexibility, things like that of that nature. You have to consistently work on that. So I didn't track that. But then my workout program was more for strength and no, it was for hypertrophy. But then I started doing like a strength training routine in the middle of like a hypertrophy program. And that didn't end well because I was just like chasing that RPE and the PR and the PR. And as I was lifting, I busted my chest and I pulled my muscle in my chest. So that was one of the things that I recognized, and I was like, okay, no, so it's good for me to track and write notes so that if I had that already like before, I'll be able to tell. And even with the notes, I'll be able to remember like, okay, this is where I was, and just keep in mind as I'm training because I would have logged it in real time how I felt at the time. But when you try to keep everything in your mind, you start telling yourself stories like, oh, yeah, no, but I'm strong. And you hype yourself and you gas yourself up where you're not supposed to be hyping and gassing yourself up. So you should actually just follow and just, yeah, be safe in the gym. So that's why logging, tracking, being honest with yourself, that's why it's so important and why you should write notes and just put everything down. So moving on here, so we've got our workout. So you track everything. I'm sure this is all making sense. So right now, I'm just showing you how to log your first workout. I'm just kind of speeding through this, and yeah, so you just put yeah, done just by clicking that check mark, and I'm sure it's going to tell me like what's this workout because I've got no values, right? Ah, there you go. So you see, this is also calling me out, saying like, okay, unusual workout duration. Your workout lasted, 1 minute, which seems shorter than usual. Do you want to adjust it? So this is like one of the things that it's calling me out. And if you go through your workouts and you design it and it doesn't fit, doesn't match, like okay, what's standard, what's regular, like it's going to be calling you, asking you like, okay, is this the actual, right? Is this the actual workout? So which is good. It's also holding you accountable. So you can use that as a way to track your workouts and keep yourself accountable. Okay, so now this is your workout, it's done, and it's going to pop up. You've got suggested athletes, right? Like people within heavy community, so you can scroll to see different people and you can link your contacts if you have people that are on there. So if you end up using heavy, just make sure that you give me a follow. Nate Mlambo, so same thing. And yeah, so that's heavy. So that's a heavy app. So you can perform your workouts like I showed you here, and you're logging your workouts as you perform each exercise, log the weights lifted and number of reps completed. I think that's what we've pretty much just talked about right there. And then next thing you want to do is come back. Yeah, so we've done that, and then you're tracking your progress. So you got the features to monitor your progress. So that will show you in another video. But now I want to show you just more on the desktop, like why we should look at the desktop version because it's going to be much better. It's going to help you. It's going to help you a lot. The desktop version is going to help you a lot. Okay, so let's see. Where are we here? Okay, so desktop version. Boom. Okay, so your desktop version, this is how you're going to do it on desktop. So same thing. Right now, I'm going to do it very fast and quick right here with desktop because we've done like the mobile version. It's very similar. And right now, what we're going to do is we're using Google login, and just going to log in using Google right now just to cut down on some time. So let's go. Okay, so what happened? Let's see. Okay, so we have to sign up first. Okay, so we're going to sign up. Mm, okay, there we go. So we're going to use another one, Nate Fit. So same thing that we did. I'm just going to use that, continue, right? And you're going to have your different plans that you can use, that you can select. And I'm just going to go, for now, I'm just going to go continue with the free plan. And you can download Heavy on your phone, right? Let's say I'm going to go with the web app. Okay, boom. So this is Heavy telling me, okay, change. So I'm going to go to my profile. Now I'm going to go to my profile, right? Like I clicked those three buttons here, the menu. So now I'm back in my profile here. And then let's see my settings in Heavy for mobile, what that looks like. What does that look like? Okay, what is going on? Oh, it's taking time. Wait, does this stream have sound? Okay, change your settings in Heavy mobile. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, let's go back. Profile. Okay, so let's just say that we have our routines here. So this is the same thing that we did. So we've got our mobile, we've got our push day. We're going to do the same thing that we did. Just create that exercise. This is, let's say, we're adding another exercise. We go bench press, that's barbell. And then we go shoulder. So you can do the same thing. Shoulder press. Let's go with that. And then you can add, let's see, incline. Okay, so now we have front raises. We've got front raise. Okay, now we've got lateral raise. Okay. So let's just say that we've got a workout here, right? So we've got 3 sets for each one. Those are 3 working sets, right? You still want to do your warm up. So this is just our regular old, uh, let's go. Yeah. So there you go. So you can click, add an extra one on each one, and then put warm up, right? So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. And you're gonna go 1, 2, 3. Okay. And then you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so you've got your workouts all laid out. So now you've got your routine. So save routine, push day, save routine. Now I'm coming back here. So now you've got your routine, you've got your folder. So as you see here, I've got 2 folders right now, my routines and new folder. So you can put your folder here. You can say push. So you can put the whole entire workout plan, right? Push, pull, legs. And then once you create the folder, I can take this and drag it into push, pull, legs. So I've already created this folder for push, pull, legs. So that's my routine. That's my routine in the push, pull folder. So what I'll do is create the pull day. I'll create the leg day. And then if you have rest day, everything else can just fit inside. And then let's say now I'll do like the Arnold split, right? So you've got Arnold split, and then you can do like a CrossFit. Let's say if you're doing CrossFit, a CrossFit program, right? You can say CrossFit, High Rocks, whatever you do. I don't know, you guys with your High Rocks. There you go. So you can have that, or you can have like your track and field, right? So you can have different folders for different types of things that you're into. And then another thing that you could do, let's say if you're like into triathlon, you could go triathlons. Okay, cool. And then, yeah, what other workout can you do? Right. So whatever you're doing, really, you can create anything. And so these are like bodybuilding. Some of these are like hybrid, and some of these are like pure cardio. And if you're doing like Pilates or yoga, let's say Pilates, yoga. So right there, we've now created like different programs already, or folders at least, right? And then so for each folder, that's like your specific type of training program. And now I can create a pull day, I can create a leg day, and I just add it into each folder. And so you can create it into these different folders, right? So now, as I've done this, this is where we can now create everything else in real time, which we'll do in another stream as well. But this is just to show you how to set everything up, how to log your first workout. And the reason why I like this is that you can say, for example, if I wanted to move things around, for example, right now, is I just duplicate the push day in the push day, right? Like that. And then I can just edit this and just say, chest and back. So this is now an Arnold, an Arnold split. So instead of like shoulder press, I would remove that exercise, and maybe now I would come back and just put chest. I'll put back, sorry. Yeah. Now I'm doing back exercises, right? So I could do bent over rows. right? I could lat pull downs. I could say lat pull down. I could say flies, chest flies. Right, so you've got that. So you can create all of these different programs now. So now I'm going to say update routine. And this is an example, by the way. I'm just giving you an example. So now I've got this. Oh, no, can't be in there. So now I've put it in there. And then if I'm doing like, let's say high rocks as well, let's say, for example, I could say you could have like your standard cardio, like running if you're like um, a 5K runner, 10K runner. You can have different routines where you're like, okay, add exercise. I could just put like running, oh, running cardio. And then I can put like 5Ks. And each time you finish, you can just log your time. So you go, boom, 5K. I can call it like a 5K run, right? So that could be the name that I give it as a routine. And then boom, I've got my 5K run. So I can create all my routines in here. So I could do 5K run, and then I can go put this into 10K and just put 10K. Boom. Done. Update. Right. And the next thing I can come duplicate the same one. Oh, so you see now you need the paid version for you to be able to do this. So now with the training, I can put like my 5K in here, and then I can put my 10K in one of these. Right, I could put it in triathlon, my triathlon folder, so I can just drag and drop it in whichever workout that I want, whichever workout program that I want. So this is your push day, for example, so you can add a routine. So with the paid plans, you'll be able to like create unlimited routines, and you can have everything just sitting there for you. And you don't have to worry about like, okay, creating a new plan or what am I doing today? Well, if you get bored of one, you're like, okay, now I feel like I want to work on my cardio. You can switch and bounce between the different programs that you have. So everything can be just set in there. So you've got your templates. All you do is just wake up, pull out your phone, and just go execute. You don't have to think about anything. You don't have to think, okay, where did I leave off last time? So you can just review it and see like your notes, like, okay, well, how did I feel the last time I did this? Okay, what was my time on the last 5K that I ran? How did I feel? Did I eat? And then you start improving because anything that you don't track, you're not able to actually progress the way that you're supposed to. You're just sort of like shooting and throwing to the wall, whatever sticks, sticks, but you're actually going aimless and you don't know exactly what you're trying to aim at. So it's very important for you to actually think about it, write down how you're progressing, make sure that you're following the right program for what your goal is. But this is one of the key things that you need to actually put in place for you to actually understand how you're progressing if you're willing to work out and actually execute and progress. Because now, like, even if you've been stretching, right, like we've got a lot of videos on stretching, but now the most important thing for you is for us to actually think about, okay, how do I progress? Like, okay, I've stretched, okay, great, I've done this in the morning, but in terms of like building myself, working out and going to the gym, because you can only stretch for so much, and there comes a point in time where you actually have to move your body and build some muscle, put some weight on your body, make your bones stronger. Because the more weight you put on your body, the stronger you become, your bones become stronger. And this helps with longevity for you to live a long life. So these are the things that you want to start implementing into your routine. Because once you're able to like occupy yourself with things and healthy habits like going to the gym, working out, even if it's 30 minutes, again, like I said, like 30 minutes, okay, go to the gym, just go outside. Even if it's a walk, you can create a walking routine. Say, okay, I'm going to walk for 20 Ks today. I'm going to walk for 10 Ks. I'm going to walk for 5 Ks. However long that you want to work out for, right? You can do that. It's something that you can do. You don't have to be limited to one single thing. But the goal is for you to track and progress. And then from there, you'll see where your progress is. And it's always good to put everything that you're tracking in one place because it gives you a good picture, a good idea of like, okay, how am I progressing? And once you do that, then you'll know exactly where you're going, right? So that's exercises. I think we've looked at the exercises portion. So now we're going to look at the trainer. So you can get a personalized program, follow a guided program with progression. So let's see. Okay, so you have to do this in the app. So that's something that we can look at another time. But in terms of routines, like if you're building the routines, it's easy to do it on the computer and just move them whichever way. So like up, down, that sort of thing. So that's what I would recommend. If you get the paid plan, you can create as many as you want. And then you can use the trainer in the heavy plan. But that's that's what I wanted us to cover today. And there's something that I also want us to look at, something that I found that was very funny. And this was like Instagram videos and just something for you to oh,
show you that today. Now we need carbs because not only they are delicious, but they also give us a lot of energy. But some of us have a really hard time in getting these carbs.
okay, so I'll give you an idea what she's doing. She's showing you about carbs, how to eat carbs. And she's showing you about, I think it's what's it, psyllium. Yeah. So this is something that she's promoting and showing you how carbs are used, how carbs are processed in your gut, and how they digested.
Out of our body. But in one of them, we're simply just going to add water because that's what we usually do. We eat our food and then we drink water
Essentially, she's demonstrating that this is your stomach. This is how water moves. This is how your carbs will move in your body.
on top. One, I'm not just going to add water. I'm actually going to take some psyllium husk. It works fantastically as a binder in your gut. And all you need to do is mix it with some warm water and then have it after about 30 minutes of your meal. Because I didn't think this through, the water just actually came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a lid to these bottles and pour the water back into the bottle. I'm going to add the psyllium water. Okay, okay. That's how the water comes out.
So she's demonstrating as if that's how your stomach is, or your intestines
But the
look like.
food stays kind of in. Open this one, you're gonna feel like a hard jelly-like structure is coming out. So it's not like loose, but because everything has been binded together, all of it is coming out. All thanks to psyllium.
This is the moment that I was just like, okay, this is like all of this stuff is going too far. All of this stuff is going too far because this is not how it actually works. Like this is going too far. And where did the enzymes go? Where did the enzymes go? Because you have enzymes in your gut as well. They're meant to break it, so it's not a good representation of what happens when you eat your carbs because you have enzymes which start digesting carbs right in your mouth. So it's not like what she's saying, right? Like you've already chewed your food and broken it down, so it's not going to be like this. So she's exaggerating, and this is the problem. So when you're looking at health stuff or anything to do with workouts, like just take a bit more time to just pay attention to some of these things. But if you are constipated, you need that extra push, then maybe sure you can use that. But for someone who's just like healthy, normal, like this is a bit extreme. And which brings me to the other one. This one really took me out.
What do you mean don't touch it? So receipt.
Wait, this one took me out. This one was the one.
A receipt?
Yeah, don't touch it.
What do you mean don't touch it?
So receipts are
Why are you touching it like that?
covered with BPA. I mean, literally just covered. That's how it prints it.
Okay, BPA, like the plastics, like BPA for plastics, right? This is a Dr. Rhonda Patrick. Good person. Like I think she's great, but
Right?
okay,
This isn't like
let's
a
hear what she's
printer. This
saying.
is printed for, it's a thermal paper, and the BPA is allowing the printing to happen, and so they're covered with bisphenol A. People that are handling
Okay.
receipts, like cashiers that are handling receipts, have really high levels of BPA, particularly if they use like hand sanitizing lotion or any lotion, any sort of cream.
Okay, so BPA, they're handling receipts. Okay. And they use sanitizer. Okay, I guess. Okay, what is the point? But let's hear what she's saying.
Makes the BPA, again, BPA is fat soluble. These creams, the hand sanitizers are carrying it inside your bloodstream about 100-fold higher than.
Okay, then what happens inside your bloodstream? But what happens? How is it bad for you? What's the effect?
Not having that. So first of all, you can opt to have a receipt emailed to you. If you need the receipt, I would do that.
Nah, this is going cashless. These companies spend so much money on printing ink. They spend so much money. They want to avoid spending that much money. So they're getting these health experts into telling you not to get receipts because for decades, everywhere, people get receipts all the time. And yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Or, don't touch it. But also, if you work in if you're a cashier and you work in this industry, really, really please wear nitrile gloves. I mean, this is like your BPA levels. If you were to go get them measured, which you can, there are companies out there now that do measure BPA levels in urine. You will see that they are extremely, extremely high. So nitrile gloves will protect you from the BPA.
I mean, like these days, like nothing is safe. Plastics everywhere. Like I shouldn't be talking to this mic. This cable is made of plastic. My phone charger is made of plastic. My keyboard is made of plastic. Like, come on, guys. Like, what are we doing here? We can't even breathe because I'm sure, like in the air, there's something that's wrong with the air. I'm sure. So we're just gonna die because this is the part. Like, yeah, sure. Like, I get what you're saying. I get the point that some of these things are not healthy, but at what point does this all stop? Because stressing over all of these things till the end, like, okay, this thing is bad for you. This thing is bad for you. This thing is bad for you. When does it stop? Because we're going to stop living. We have to be practical. Because by me focusing and concentrating on that stuff, it sort of like puts stress on you. How bad is stress? Because now I can't do this, I can't do that. Nothing is safe. Now your stress levels go up. So what's healthier? What health are we talking about here? Like make it make sense because some of this stuff is just being blown out of proportion. Because if everything is bad for you, like, oh, this like you can't even breathe, just hold your breath, don't breathe, don't touch anything. This you're stuck. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. This is crazy.
Getting across your dermal barrier and getting to your bloodstream. Latex gloves do not. So make sure they're nitrile gloves. And then for people that are not in the industry, try to avoid the receipts. I mean, it's a really big exposure to BPA that people aren't even realizing. So really, really, really important to remember receipts are a very big source of BPA that people are not thinking about, particularly people that are routinely handling these receipts.
Interesting. Anyway, fam, I'll catch you guys. Let's go.